Storage. We use them every day. On your phone, your laptop, your PC, or even just your USB stick. But what can they really do? Well, this might sound crazy, but you can actually turn one physical drive into two or more. Now, let me explain. In your drive, there are these things called partitions. Think of them as something like a virtual drive, which is what your computer recognizes as a drive. See, your computer doesn't really recognize, say, your physical USB drive as one singular drive. You do because you see it, but the computer doesn't. So, within your USB drive, there are data for one or multiple partitions. So, when you plug in your USB drive, the computer starts counting how many partitions there are. This might surprise you, but almost every single operating system have more than one partitions in their drive. However, most of them are just for system usage and is hidden from the user. And yes, this is one of the reasons why your system tells you only have 930 gigabytes of storage when you clearly bought 1 terabyte. So, after all this, you might be wondering, so how do I manage those hidden drives? And more importantly, how do I turn one USB stick into two? Well, there is a special tool for that called Partition Wizards. I put the download link in the description. Get the app right now and follow the steps. First, go ahead and open up the mini tool Partition Wizard. When you open the app, you will see all the drives you have on your PC. For me, I have 2 physical drives and 1 virtual disk. Remember, do not mess with these drives because they contain your information. Now, plug in your USB stick. You'll see the screen here update. And as you can see, I now have disk 4. Now, before you do anything, please make sure to back up all your important files because we will be wiping the drive within the process. After you backed up all your files, go ahead and right-click on the smaller box inside the disk. This is a partition. If you somehow see many of them, that means you have multiple partitions in your drive. But anyways, we right-click on it and click delete. And the drive name will become unallocated. However, the operation isn't actually ran yet, as you can see here in the pending operations. So just go ahead and click apply. This will actually remove the partition. And if you have multiple partitions, just do this multiple times to each partition. Now, what we have here in our disk is a unallocated space. The cool thing with unallocated space is that you won't be able to see it on your file explorer. But we are not done yet. Now we are going to create 2 new partitions in this unallocated space. So go ahead and right click on the unallocated space and click create. Now this might look complex, but it's actually really simple. The things here below are a bit technical. I did talk about them in my other video about formatting drives. Be sure to check that out after this video. It's going to be at the top right. Anyways, but today we won't be using this. Here under size and location is where we choose the size of our first partition. Remember, do not use the entire space, as doing this could cause there to be no other space left for our second partition. For me, I'll just do half, and that's basically it. We will click create. Before we apply the settings, do not forget that we are creating 2 partitions. So basically repeat the process again and remember to click on the allocated space. Note, when you do this, the program is going to warn you about how Windows wouldn't be able to recognize this second drive, which is false for our situation at least. So we can just ignore it. Finally, after you finish, just click apply. When it's done, you can go check on the file explorer. If you're like me and can only see one of those drives, just unplug and replug the USB. And that is how you create unlimited drives with only one USB stick. You could even do this with drives. Now, let's talk about our sponsor, Minitool Partition Wizard. I've used many different partition wizards at the past, but Minitool Partition Wizard has really stood out to me. I like how the partition pending list clearly shows what I want the app to do, so I can double check, or how the partition management tab contains all the functions the app provides. But what really stood out to me is the speed. The drives I use TB as a unit, and normally my partition wizard will spend hours just adjusting the size of the partition. But with this tool, everything happens just a bit quicker, allowing more efficient work. So make sure to check out the app, link in description. Well, that's it for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and download the app. This will support me a lot and allow me to make more amazing videos for you guys.